Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the League Zero Formula Series. Today we find ourselves at Montreal for the feature race, followed by the sprint race. Going to be non-stop action around the 2.68-mile circuit. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it is good to be back up here in the booth after a short hiatus with the League Zero drivers taking a couple weeks off. The Drivers' Championship still in effect as Raymond Aguilar has started inching closer to Russell Soto's SB Grand Prix team to battle for that win and lead overall, as well as the Constructor Championship currently still shaking up as well. It's SB Grand Prix out front, Track Limit Racing second, Team Oversteers in third, but still lots of great racing left in the series. Let's get ready as they are currently out on track for qualifying, and we're going to see what these drivers can do, and as we get ready to take it to the grid for the feature event. Starting on pole, it's going to be Russell Soto and the number 50 machine. Flo Doms will be starting second on tonight's grid. We've got Raymond Aguilar starting third, Nick Peterson starting fourth, Brendan Duan starting fifth, Danilo Sparapani starting sixth, Chase Small starting seventh, John Clayton starting 8th, Brad Tritton starting 9th, Jared Ziegler, the Oval Extraordinaire, starting 10th, Antonio Bianchi, the expert open wheel racer, starting 11th, Ryan Thibault will be starting 12th on tonight's grid. Cycle it back, we've got Peter Rettinger starting 13th, John Kasai starting 14th, Michael Roslin 15th, Xavier Zanave starting 16th, Gareth McAllister starting 17th, Varun Patel starting 18th, Norman King 19th, Kenneth Hudak starting 20th, Levi Opitz 21st, Simon Fellows starting 22nd on tonight's grid to round out our total amount of competitors. A pretty healthy grid here at Montreal. But let's see if Russell Soto is going to be able to bring it home after starting on pole to extend that points lead, because Raymond Aguilar has been getting closer and closer in the points chase so far this season. As we get ready for the feature event, the longer format event for these drivers. And then we're going to head into the sprint race. But the engines are starting to light up. Here we go. Away they go. Looks like Patel is going to start from the pits here today, unable to get back out onto the circuit in time. And it's Russell Soto and Doms going side by side through turn 1. A track that has a whole lot of fast sections here in Montreal as you take the onboard, the overhead camera angle showing the driver's wicket through the first chicane. Soto's able to stretch his lead ever so slightly over Doms and Aguilar. Aguilar currently running third, just ahead of Duan and Sparapani. Nick Peterson involved in a single car incident in the number 24, but able to get back on track. "25 laps or 45 minutes, whatever comes first for this feature event. As it looks like Doms is going to pressure for the lead here. Let's see what's going to happen. Cycle the camera back a little bit further to Small, currently running 6th on the circuit. He's just ever so slightly ahead of Jared Ziegler, as well as Brad Tritt and Antonio Bianchi. A lot of guys that are very fast and experienced here for the League Zero Formula 3. As I believe we may have had an incident between Zanave and King as well. Everyone avoiding Champions Wall. John Kasai, though, involved in an incident. Getting pointed, hopefully, in the right direction here before coming back out on the start-finish line straight. Hopefully he doesn't have too much damage on the front of that machine, as he is going to stay out. McAllister also goes off track. I believe McAllister may be a newcomer here to the League Zero competition. And unfortunately, just going off track and having a bit of worries and woes early on. Aguilar has been able to pick up second place ahead of Doms. Let's see if he can chase down Soto here, as he does have the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:34.96. And first and second, this is the battle of points leaders as well. Now the League Zero does have the rule, if you take a tow back to pit lane, you are considered retired from the event. So these drivers that do have a bit of minor damage on their machines will do everything in their power to limp it back to pit road if possible, to try and get some repairs done, to get back out, salvage some points for both themselves as well as the Manufacturers Championship. But look at this, Soto clicks off a 1:31.21, setting the fastest lap of the race. Historically, Soto seems to get quicker as the run progresses in every round he finds himself in. As we check on Soto, your race leader out front, clicking him off in the number 50 machine. He's got about a 1.4 second advantage over Aguilar. Chase Small involved in another off track as well. Trying to get it pointed in the right direction, but having a bit of a rough go here today. Got a 3-car battle for second shaking up. You've got Raymond Aguilar in second, Doms third, Juan fourth. Less than a half second separates these drivers any way you cut it, ahead or behind. I'd be a little bit curious to see how easy it is for these drivers to keep temperature in their tires with these long straightaways broken up by a few different chicanes. Oh, we got contact. That was Aguilar, maybe got a little bit unsettled. That's going to allow Dwan to pick up second place ahead of Soto and Aguilar. A huge moment for your current points leader, Russell Soto. And that's going to really shake things up in the top 5 as now Doms is going to lead the rest of the pack around the circuit here. Has actually clicked off the fastest lap of the race as he runs second. He was able to drop a 1 minute 30.86. And that shows just how quickly things can get shaken up here for the League Zero Premier Formula 3 Series. These guys, week in and week out, put on a spectacular show. As now I believe that's going to be Aguilar and Soto going side by side as Soto, excuse me, takes over the position from Aguilar. Up front, Doms clicks off his fastest lap so far. Almost the fastest lap of the race. He's able to drop a 1 minute 30.96. As, man, look at this. Soto and Aguilar putting on a show, the battle for third. Meanwhile, Sparapani watches the battle for third, thinking, all right, we've got two guys that are in the points championship battling hard side by side. Let's watch and see what they do, and I may be able to pick up a position the easy way. And uh-oh, Sparapani has a bit of an internet issue right behind Aguilar. Soto's starting to stretch his legs once more. He's extended his gap to about 3/4 of a second over fourth place Aguilar. But he is still about 1.5 seconds back from Brandon Dwan. As Brandon Dwan may have picked up the draft from from Doms. That draft is so important here. Dwan clicks off the fastest lap of the race once more, a 1 minute 30.75. Now for this feature event, these drivers are going to have to enter their box at least once for fuel. While the sprint race, the final shootout, they should be able to make it in one stop relatively easily. But here comes Brandon Dwan as he's inching closer to Doms to try and battle for that race lead. He's still got about a 1.5 second advantage over third place Russell Soto. So if and when he goes for that overtake attempt, he's going to want to do so quickly to avoid allowing the likes of Soto and Aguilar to catch up and gain much time. The battle for the lead as Dwan's going to take a peek on the outside. Can he make it stick, though? It looks like Doms is going to have the inside, able to defend, coming out on the start-finish line. As they go side by side once more, who's going to have in the line? Soto comes down pit lane a little bit early. Maybe trying to make some changes on the card and maybe make some adjustments to get back out there. As Dwan keeps getting quicker and quicker, clicks off a 1 minute 30.38 that last time by. Haven't seen much from Dwan this season. but everything's clicking off well for the driver here today. As we try and pull up his stats, not seeing much here. His highest finish of the season was a first at Zandvoort GP. That was all the way back on September 2nd, so just about a month ago, Brandon had his first ever win. And he is in striking position, doing everything he can to try and get around Doms as they once again go side by side. It looks like, no, he's gonna miss it. Possibly going to get a slowdown there coming out in the start-finish line straight. And he's going to have to work very hard to get that gap back, as Doms is going to extend his lead to about 1.4 seconds after that big bobble from Juan, not quite able to get it in the final corner. And I believe Raymond Aguilar has retired as well. Aguilar had an off-track moment on lap 7. And then did have to take a jump back to the pit lane. That toe we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, that will be the end of the night for Raymond Aguilar, who's second in points. So now we've got to watch and see if Dewan's going to be able to whittle away at that 2.5 second advantage that Doms currently has. Still plenty of laps left for these drivers, as other notable battles we have on track. Simon Fellows is stalking Michael Roslin to try and pick up another spot and move up to 9th. It's Roslin 9th, Fellows in 10th. Great racing all across the circuit here today in Montreal. Doms, your race leader, clicks off his fastest lap of the race at 1 minute 30.87. Now, some of the drivers we talked to in their haulers and their engineer boxes before tonight's race saying they weren't quite comfortable on tonight's setup, but the League Zero guys are running a fixed setup league, so even if they're not super comfortable and everyone is on the exact same setup and facing the same conditions, really makes it a driver's championship here. Fellows getting very, very close here to Roslin to try and pick up that 9th place spot. And these guys have got to know, with the inverted grid coming up for the sprint race, every position they can get now will really benefit them later on. As here comes Fellows on the inside line, and they go side by side with Roslin. But Roslin's going to answer back to the inside line, diving up to the inside of number 73 of Fellows to hold on to 9th place. Behind them, another battle shaking up. John Clayton, John Kasai battling for 11th as they go side by side. All across the circuit, lots of great racers battling hard. And no matter where you are at speed-wise for your first League Zero event, you can count on some good battles all across the track. As now we watch Kasai, number 3, chase down Clayton in the number 41 machine. Those rotors absolutely glowing red hot. Looks Looks like Clayton's going to get a chance to breathe here. We're going to check on Fellows and Roslin. It looks like Fellows has extended his gap to about 1.5 seconds over Michael Roslin. So it appears it is Raymond Aguilar, Chase Small, Levi Opitz, Nick Peterson that have retired from the feature event here today. Facing their woes early on. Hopefully they can get it put back together, in time for the sprint race. Up front, Doms clicks off the fastest lap of the race on 1 minute 30.2. Meanwhile, second place Brandon Dewan, he's able to click off a 1:31.06 his last time by. Maybe struggling to catch a toe from Doms. It's a little bit easier from a racer's point of view to click off those fast laps when you have somebody in front of you to chase throughout the duration of the track. Laps left to go for our competitors, and pretty much everybody that's out on track right now is still going to have to do their one mandatory pit stop of the race. It'll be interesting to see when they decide to make that call to come diving down the pit lane. As Doms is out front comfortably leading the charge here today. For the most part, majority of the field has a good chance to breathe here. A large portion of the drivers separated by 2 to 3 seconds. Cycle back to the field. We've also got Ryan Thibault running 7th, trying to catch up to Brad Tritton. That's a new paint scheme on the number 27 machine, looking very colorful out here today. I believe it's a Lego backed race car. Very cool. The Vault's still about 2.2 seconds back from Brad Tritton and the number 26 machine. Looks like a few drivers running new paint schemes after our 2-week break here for the League Zero competition. Up front, though, let's check on Brandon Dewan. Clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 30 flat. 1 minute 30 seconds, 0.01 hundredths of a second. So he is absolutely getting faster as the run progresses. He's whittled down the lead that Flo Doms currently has to just about 2 seconds between Doms and Dewan. As Dewan was about a second a lap faster than Doms his last time by. I believe that can be attributed to a mistake Doms may have had on the circuit, as he's been clicking off low 130s all night long. John Kasai finishes his pit stop, and Jared Ziegler has a bit of an off track. That's going to allow Antonio Bianchi to catch up and maybe battle for that 4th place spot, as there goes Bianchi. Ziegler crab walking that machine down the circuit. He's going to try and limp it back to pit lane, but you can tell just how hard he is struggling to keep that machine pointed in the right direction here. As now here comes Ryan Thibault, going to make his way around the wounded Ziegler. And hopefully we can see Ziegler make his way back to pit road in the number 57 machine. Doing his best to hold out of the way as there goes Peter Rettinger in the number 44. And yes, he is going to be able to bring it home into pit lane, try and get it hammered back in the right direction. Meanwhile, up front, it's still Doms, Duan, Sparapani, Bianchi, Tritton making up our top 5 here today. Still 2 seconds between your race leader, Flo Doms, and second place, Brandon Duan. These guys have about a 6-second advantage over third place, Sparapani. As now lap traffic's going to come into play for some of the drivers. You're watching your race leader, Flo Doms. He's going to start cutting through traffic that may be... Not sure if that's Xavier Zinave in front of your race leader. Yes, it is. The race leader making his way around the Frenchman without any issues or worries out on track. Now, Bianchi has come down pit lane, but what happened to Brandon Duan? Duan took his pit stop on lap 14, who was previously in second place. Exits the pit lane, still 6th on track, but now he's behind Peter Rettinger in the number 44 machine. But the good news is for Duan, everyone ahead of him has not pitted yet. That total pit lane time just shy of 40 seconds. As this is going to be quite the show. Peter Rettinger just ahead of Duan. Danilo Sparapani brings it down pit road after running second behind Doms. Doms opts to stay out. Tritton will move to second, as well as Ryan Thibault will move up to third. As we are currently watching the battle for fourth, as Brandon Duan's going to pick it up from Peter Rettinger. Rettinger's going to answer back on the inside, doesn't quite get the drive out of the corner that he wants, but is he going to have enough momentum in the next section of track? No, he is not. That's going to allow Duan to take over fourth place with those fresh, after that fresh pit stop. Now, I don't believe he took tires. I believe it was just a fuel stop. But Jared Ziegler having more problems. I believe he's going to come back down pit road after having another incident. But look at this. Russell Soto just clicks off the fastest lap of the race with a 1:29.93. He's all the way back in 14th after an early issue here tonight. But still showing he has the pace. He just does not have the luck here. Your top 3 drivers, Doms, Tritton, Thibault, have not yet boxed. As now it looks like Doms is going to keep staying out. Rettinger and Fellows going to come down pit lane together. Now they're going to be showing a 7th and 8th on the track. Now at the top 5, it's only Brendan Dewan that has already pitted here. So he's in a good position to make up some major time, as his pit time was about 40 seconds. And he's only about 28 seconds behind your race leader, Flo Doms. Doms has about a 20.4 second advantage over second place Brad Tritton, about 25 seconds ahead of third place Ryan Thibault. And now the race leader is going to dive down pit lane. Activating that limiter. So let's see how long it's going to take Doms to get in and out. Brad Tritton also comes down pit lane, as well as Ryan Thibault. Dom's going to take a splash of fuel and get right back out there, in and out of his box in 5 seconds. So Dom's going to come out on track about 3.6 seconds ahead of Brandon Dewan. A much closer gap than I thought there was going to be there. So everybody inside the top 5 has pitted. You have Gareth McAllister in 6th and the number 25, the new Aussie here to the League Zero family. He is one of the few drivers that has not boxed yet. Less than 7 laps to go for our competition. Doms still holds about a 3-second advantage over Brandon Dewan. Dewan has about a 9.3 second gap over third place Danilo Sparapani. But with not much time left in the race, are we going to see any big moves here? Antonio Bianchi involved in a battle with Brad Tritton, less than a couple hundredths. Oh, that is tight, as Bianchi looks for a way through the number 26 of Tritton. McAllister finally taking his late pit stop, coming in on lap 18. As right now we are watching the battle for 4th with 6 laps left to go between Brad Tritton and the number 26 and Antonio Bianchi and the number 17 machine. As they're going to have a lap driver possibly insert himself in the battle. But no, I believe it's going to be Tritton and Bianchi get through nice and clean, trying to shake each other from the draft, but no luck from Tritton. as Bianchi is going to make a gutsy move on the outside line, trying to set it up, not quite able to make it happen through Champion's Corner. I would imagine that Bianchi's going to get a slowdown here. And he is going to have to yield the position back to Trenton. Trenton takes over 4th place once more. Not sure if that was a built-in slowdown or possibly a gentleman's move saying, hey, if you make an illegal pass, you have to yield the position back. But let's also talk about Russell Soto has worked his way back up to 10th and clicks off another fastest lap of the race, a 1:29.84. Now this has got to be good for Soto as well, as while he does want the points here at the feature race, he is going to have the sprint race coming up where it's an inverted grid of the top 10 with only the top 8 scoring points for the sprint race. So Soto may be able to salvage tonight after a strike of bad luck. McAllister has big problems as well. Number 25 machine, he has managed to wad up his machine. And unfortunately, it is very tough for him to hold that machine in a straight direction, as he is most likely going to grab a tow here. And yes, McAllister is going to take a tow back to pit lane, so he will be retired for the evening. Soto has worked his way up into 9th place. Now he's about 1 second back from Peter Rettinger. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, still covering up from COVID here. Soto has got it within about 0.8 of a second to Rettinger, trying to pick up one more spot late in the race. Only 4 laps remaining for Soto and really the entire field to make any big moves if they're going to. Ooh, Soto might have touched the outside corner so slightly there. Still manages to find some speed to get to the inside of Rettinger. Able to make an outside pass, an absolutely gutsy move from Soto, picking up 8th place. And now he's got Clayton and the Thibault in his sights as well. And I believe Clayton had a bit of a bottomable as well. That's going to allow Soto to catch up to within 0.4 of a second. Possibly able to pick up another spot here and help salvage some points. Now Soto's still in a good position overall for the points chase. Because as a reminder, Raymond Aguilar had to take that return back to pit road and retire from the evening, so he was not going to get any points on Soto, which were very much needed at this point in the points championship. Soto picks up the spot from Clayton. He's still about 5.5 seconds back from Ryan Thibault, and the leg goes back to the 27 machine. Thibault trying to whittle away at the 5.8 second advantage that Bianchi has in 5th, because he knows he's got some fast drivers behind him in the closing laps here. As Soto's going to come back into pit lane. Not sure if he has issues on that machine or what may be happening. As we're going to check out Antonio Bianchi, number 17 machine, still trying to chase down Brad Tritton, about 1 second separating the two competitors as you go on board with the Bianchi. We've talked about it several times, how important it is to be able to see the driver in front of you. Really helps these guys put their head down and try and gain some speed. As now less than a second separating 4th place Brad Tritton from 5th place Antonio Bianchi. It's still Doms, Dwan, and Sparapani running 1, 2, and 3 here. Relatively stretched out. But let's see if Bianchi can find a way to whittle away at that 1.2 second gap that Tritton has and try and put himself into that 4th place spot. Both drivers clicking off their fastest lap of the race. Tritton with a 1 minute 30.9, Bianchi with a 1 minute 30.73 that last time by. But not a lot of laps left for either of these competitors to do many major moves here. It's about 7 seconds between Sparapani and Tritton. But the white flag will fly for Flo Doms. Out front and charging hard. He's still about a 1.5 second advantage over Brandon Dwan. Dwan finding a lot of speed, but not quite within striking distance here. Still about a second separates Doms and Dwan, your race leaders. And I don't know if Dwan's going to have enough time here to try and make a final shot on Doms for the race win. As they come to the end of the circuit. As it looks like it's going to be Doms able to get to the end uncontested. Brandon Dwan will be happy with second. But let's check out the battle for 4th as Antonio Bianchi has found some speed, less than a half second separating himself with Brad Tritton. Trying to stay in that draft as long as he possibly can to cut through the air. Bianchi is getting within striking distance here at the end. Who's it going to be at the line? Brad Tritton, Antonio Bianchi battling hard. I believe it's going to be Tritton, just barely holds on to 4th. My, oh my, what a finish, less than 0.03 of a second separating Brad Tritton, Antonio Bianchi. But it's going to be Flo Doms, Brandon Dwan, and Danilo Sparapani picking up the podium here today. Welcome back, race fans, as we get ready for the start of the sprint race. It is going to be non-stop action for the 15 minutes final race of the night. Starting on pole, it's going to be Michael Roslin, John Kasai second, Peter Rettinger third, John Clayton fourth, Ryan Thibault starting fifth, Antonio Bianchi starting sixth, Brad Tritton starting seventh, Danilo Sparapani starting eighth, Brandon Dewan starting ninth, and Flo Doms will round out our top 10. Then Russell Soto, Varun Patel, Kenneth Hudak, Xavier Zanave starting 14th, Simon Fellows starting 15th, Norman King starting 16th, Gareth McAllister 17th, Jared Ziegler 18th, Raymond Aguilar 19th, Chase Small 20th, Levi Opit starting 21st, and Nick Peterson starting 22nd to round out the grid. But let's get ready as our drivers are out on the track getting ready to start this party. Let's see what's going to happen, as it is going to be a wild shootout here today. A 15-minute timer, a zero-stop race. As the engines start to get revved up, competitors getting amped up and ready. Let's see who's going to be able to happen. Now again, this is an inverted top 10 grid. So if you're in the top 10 for the feature race, your starting position is now backwards. So if you start first, you'll be starting 10th, and so on and so forth. And only the top 8 will be scoring points here in the sprint race. So it's indicative to a wild start, as I believe somebody's blown their engine on the pit. As that's, haven't seen that one before. So we're getting ready to go out. The lights will soon come on. And away they go. Instant carnage, though, as the field wads it up. Brennan Dewan, Simon Fellows, Raymond Aguilar all involved, as they're going to take a tow back to pit lane. What a start. Brandon Dewan, Simon Fellows, Aguilar, all involved in that incident. Your race leader, Michael Roslin, bends it as well. Another pile up here. Roslin's going to have to sit there and wait for the field to pass. John Clayton gets through. But already we've lost a major portion of the field. John Kasai, Simon Fellows, Michael Roslin, Brennan Dewan, Raymond Aguilar, Chase Small, all involved. What a night it is at Montreal. And the drivers will activate their safety lights, signaling a full course caution. This is the second time ever we've seen that happen this season with the League Zero Formula Racers. The first time was at Long Beach, where it quickly turned into a parking lot. But man, oh man, what a night. We're going to get the field gridded up once more. But in a 12-lap race, these guys are not going to have a lot of time to get back out there. Take another look at a start that went terribly bad for a lot of people. Man, oh man, what a quick parking lot. Then we're going to cycle back up to Roslin, who's blowing smoke. And again, this is our instant replay to see what happened to your race leader. And just with a self-spin, he gets collected. John Kasai, I believe, is go for a wild ride. And he's going to be completely upside down. So my, oh my, what a start to tonight's race. As we're going to get ready for the restart, it's going to be John Clayton out front, Peter Rettinger second, Antonio Bianchi third, Ryan Thibault fourth, Flo Doms fifth, after quite a wild start to tonight's race. But our iRacing safety car is going to make its way in as the competition is gridded up single file. Now we're going to try this once more, as the marshals have got the course cleaned off. The Safety car is in the pit lane. And John Clayton will get the party started, getting back on out of the gas. Bianchi has a big run, but nowhere to go with it quite yet to try and get around Peter Rettinger. As they go side by side, your race leader, John Clinton, has binned it. Oh, and then more carnage. Ryan Thibault gets involved, parks it in the middle of the circuit. It's going to be another parking lot here. Ryan Thibault spins it in the Lego backed machine. That's also Gareth McAllister and Norman King involved. Nick Peterson also gets tagged in that. And once again, the competition will put on the safety limiter, signifying another full course caution. What a wild night here today. We'll take another look here and see what happened to Ryan Thibault, the number 27 machine that brought out the second full course caution here at Montreal. Thibault in the very bright Lego machine. Just wicks it up a little bit earlier, sends the back end careening around, and he's in an extremely dangerous position to be parked here. As the field, unfortunately, with nowhere to go behind him, stacks it up and once again causes a blockage on the circuit that warrants bringing out the safety car. But what a rough night for several of our drivers here today in Montreal. As we're going to try once more to get an actual race going on. It's going to be Rettinger up front. Bianchi moves to second. Dom's third. Tritton fourth. We'll see if the pace car comes in this time by. Already half of the event has been under eye-pacing conditions. As no, we will do another lap around the circuit here today. What a wild night for several drivers. It's going to be John Clayton, Varun Patel, Simon Fellows, Chase Small, Michael Roslin, Gareth McAllister, John Kasai, Brandon Dwan, Raymond Aguilar are either in the pits or retired from the evening. So this is going to really possibly shake things up for the points championships. Soto has been able to survive tonight despite having a rough start in the feature event. Aguilar being stricken with all sorts of bad luck. But man, I mean, it's rare enough to have a full course caution here in the League Zero Formula 3 Series. It's even more rare to see it 2 times in an event, having the pace car come out. I wonder if that could be attributed to the setup that the guys are running on. Again, a lot of the drivers felt like the setup was a little tough to drive here today, or maybe there's something particular that makes this circuit a little bit more difficult for other drivers. All of our drivers doing their best to keep some heat in the tires, not wanting to find themselves in an off-track excursion that's been striking so many of the drivers here today at Montreal. But I believe the safety car should be coming in this time by. That we're going to send Rettinger, Bianchi, and Doms, your top 3 drivers, back out to see what they can do here. Man, what a wild night for our competition. Safety car is in. Peter Renger mashes on the gas. Let's see if we can get through a lap here at Montreal without a course blocking incident. Bianchi trying to make a strike up for the lead, trying to look to the inside of Renger, not quite able to make it stick, as Renger will be able to defend here in the number 44 machine. Bianchi runs wide. Doms tries to make a shot at it, not quite able to do so. Oh no, Bianchi spins it. Parks it in an extremely dangerous position. He will be unable to wait, or to get back out on the circuit without waiting. And he's going to try and get it pointed in the right direction. That's going to allow Renger to take over the race lead, with Soto taking over second place, Doms third, Tritton fourth, Sparapani in fifth. What a wild night for our competition. Oh! That was, I believe that was Redinger? No, that was Soto. Soto bends it on camera and takes an extremely long time to get back out on track. I believe Renger also involved in this, and it is absolute carnage here in Montreal as Renger does his best to get back out on the point in the right direction. So that's going to be Brad Tritton out front. No, Flo Doms takes over the lead from Brad Tritton now in second. Danilo Sparapani third, Jared Ziegler fourth, Xavier Zanave fifth. What a night this has been, as now Levi Opitz involved in an incident. Tries to spin it back around to get pointed the right direction, but he's going to call it a night and take a tow back to pit lane. Wow, what a night here, ladies and gentlemen. Kenneth Huddock takes over a spot from Jared Ziegler. Gareth McAllister and Danilo Sparapani have issues once more. As does Jared Ziegler. Jared Ziegler has problems. Takes a quick tow back to pit lane. My, oh my, what a night. So that's going to be Flo Doms, Brad Tritton second, Kenneth Huddock the third, Ryan Thibault fourth, Nick Peterson fifth, Gareth McAllister fighting hard with Redinger to try and pick up a spot here. What an absolute rough night here in Montreal our competition is having. Only 4 laps left to go in this sprint race, and only the top 8 drivers scoring points as Antonio Bianchi goes for another ride just ahead of Gareth McAllister. That's going to put McAllister up into 7th behind Peter Renger, while Russell Soto will move up into the final points paid position of 8th. Flo Doms, your race leader, clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 1:31.8. But with the caution laps we've had here today, it's pretty much a half-distance event for the regular time sprint race. It was only supposed to be 12 minutes or 12 laps or 30 minutes. And we are already on lap 9. As Gareth McAllister follows Peter Renger. Renger currently on screen in 6th place, trying to chase down Kenneth Huddock and the number 33 machine. And let's see if Renger's going to make a move here, as we have about 9 drivers out of 22 that started this race that are still on track and on the lead lap here. So many drivers struck in with tragedy in either the first 2 full course cautions that we had or the following incidents. As Rettinger still trying to pressure Huddock for that 5th place spot. Russell Soto running 8th, the current points leader, sitting on the bubble if he scores points or not against the top 8 scoring points here today. But Soto has clicked off the fastest lap of the race as he is rapidly approaching Gareth McAllister for the battle for 7th. McAllister, the Australian, doing his best to fend off the current points leader, but it is going to be tough work with 2 laps remaining in tonight's race. And here comes Soto taking a peek to the inside line, not quite able to make it work as McAllister carried just a tad bit more speed through that section of racetrack. But now Soto's going to have the inside line to pick up that 7th place spot from McAllister. So now we're going to see if Soto can catch up to Rettinger. He can see the pack in front of him all for position here. But not a lot of laps left and not a lot of time remaining in tonight's main event, the sprint race, to see where these drivers are going to be able to fall as far as the point scoring positions goes. I think a lot of the field here that's still out on track has got to be happy just to survive tonight's event. As Peter Rettinger takes a shot at the number 33 of Huddock, not quite able to make it stick here, because he's got Russell Soto right behind him as well. Dom still out front with a comfortable 4-second lead over Brad Tritton. Soto picks up another spot from Peter Rettinger. And now he's going to try and work on Kenneth Huddock. Ryan Thibault, after causing the second full course caution, not having bad of luck as he's worked his way up into 4th. Soto is charging through the field here, but not a lot of laps left to gain any more position. He may be able to get Thibault, maybe Peterson in 3rd, but after how his night's been going, Soto's got to be happy to be able to salvage some points out of tonight. Gareth McAllister moves to 7th over Kenneth Huddock, who is now in 8th. The white flag will fly for Doms. It's still Doms, Tritton, Peterson, your top 3. Thibault and Soto round out our top 4. But it looked like Thibault had a bit of a problem there, a bit of a hiccup. Able to keep it pointed in the right direction, but the white flag is out. It's still Doms out front with a very comfortable 4.6-second lead over Brad Tritton. Tritton running 2nd on the circuit. He's about 10 seconds ahead of Nick Peterson. And Peterson is about 2 seconds ahead of Soto, so if he can just hold on to it, he's looking good for a podium finish here at Montreal. But man, oh man, if the live timing and scoring tower on the left side of your screen has ever shown a story, tonight is tonight. So many fast and talented drivers that were forced to retire early, involved in separate incidents. I mean, ever since the lights came on, it was tragedy for a lot of the competition. And a lot of drivers going to head back to the hauler disappointed with how tonight went. But the checker is going to fly for Doms. Able to bring it home here at Montreal on the number 31 machine. He's going to pull over and quickly get out of the car, not wanting to have anything to do with it here today. Tritton will get 2nd. Peterson will get 3rd. And Soto will get 4th here today after a long night. But Flo Doms going to burn it down in style with the win in the number 31 machine. A well-deserved victory in what was a battle of attrition for these drivers. Flo Dom's able to bring it home here at the end for what I believe is his first victory of the season. What a night it has been here at Montreal for the League Zero Racing Series, and these are your sprint results for the evening. Flo Dom's first, Brad Tritton second, Nick Peterson third, Soto fourth, and Ryan Thibault will round out our top five. But man, what a night. 2 full course cautions and a lot of great drivers involved in an absolute rough race. As always, on behalf of LeagueZero.net, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We look forward to seeing you all back next week with hopefully a little bit less carnage, but some more great racing. Have a great night, everyone.